The Zelda series often tells the tale of our two heroes Link and Zelda, and the evil usurper Ganondorf. While the plots of the three characters remain somewhat the same, with Ganondorf attempting to steal the Triforce and Link and Zelda trying to stop him, a lot of the reasoning and context of Ganondorf's motives are often forgotten when playing one of the many Zelda adventures. Zelda games are often heavy with Link and Zelda, while Ganondorf gets shifted to the side until the end of the game. This can be heavily shown in Twilight Princess, where even Zant gets more screen time than Ganondorf himself. I can't help but wish previous Zelda games allowed us more time with Ganondorf. They only ever portray his evil side, leaving us to believe he has no emotions other than programmed anger and intentions to rule the world. But over the many years of Zelda games, Ganondorf has given us tiny pieces of his early life and his backstory. With these tiny pieces, we can puzzle together Ganondorf's horrible, depressing life that may just make you understand why he is the way he is, and may even make you feel somewhat sympathetic towards him. Ganondorf's past can help us understand his hatred, his lust for power, his intelligence, and political strategies. So now, let's dive into the tragic life of Ganondorf. The Triforce and the land of Hyrule was created by three golden goddesses: Din, the goddess of power, Nehru, the goddess of wisdom, and Feror, the goddess of courage. Not long after Hyrule's creation, the golden goddesses departed from the world. They trusted their ultimate power, the Triforce, in the hands of the goddess Hylia. Sometime prior to the events of Skyward Sword, an evil being known as Demise and his demonic minions slipped through a fissure in an attempt to steal the Triforce and rule the world. Hylia, with the help of others, was able to keep Demise at bay and seal him away. Due to the seal placed upon Demise, he takes a monstrous form as the Imprisoned. Hylia, fearing the Imprisoned would escape, sent part of the land to the sky, now known as Skyloft, and away from evil, and created the cloud barrier to separate the land from the sky. She also took on a human form, meaning she would later die, now being mortal. Hylia was eventually reborn on Skyloft as Zelda, but was unaware of her previous existence as Hylia. Demise's sword Girium pursues Zelda to steal her soul and thus resurrect his master, Demise, knocking her out of the sky and continuing a chase throughout the course of Skyward Sword. Despite being sealed away by Hylia, Demise somewhat broke the seal by himself as the Imprisoned. Link, our trusted hero, is able to keep the Imprisoned at bay, but eventually Girium succeeds in capturing Zelda, and the Imprisoned is able to absorb Zelda's soul and transforms into the Demon King himself. Demise invites Link to battle, and with the help of Fi, which becomes the Master Sword, and the Triforce, Link is victorious over Demise. But in his dying words, he warns Link that it is not over, and an incarnation of his hatred will be reborn as a being to pursue domination of the world, as well as those with the blood of the goddess and the spirit of the hero, in a cycle of rebirth. Ganondorf is the mortal incarnation of Demise, trapped within the horrific cycle. Ganondorf was born a member of the Gerudo tribe, said to be raised by his surrogate witch mothers, Kome and Katake, who would later be known as Twin Rover. Due to a unique biological quirk, the race consists almost solely of females. A single male Gerudo is born into the tribe every 100 years. This male is destined by Gerudo lore to become their king. The tribe live in the harsh environment of Gerudo Desert. Due to the climate of the desert, the tribe were forced to become tough and resourceful. The harsh lifestyle they live has led them to be one of the most respected and feared races across Hyrule. Ganondorf, having grown up in this cruel environment, has clearly been influenced by the outlaw life the Gerudo live. He was born to be a thief and a skillful warrior like his tribe, struggling with the harsh desert and lack of resources. Ganondorf, being the lone male of the group at the time, is their king and god. As Ganondorf grew older and smarter, he acknowledged his power within the Gerudo tribe. He knew they would follow him no matter what, as he is their king as long as their law stands. A man with power only ever wants one thing: more power. As his position of Gerudo king was solidified, he looked at ways to improve the lifestyle of his people and ones he cared for. It wouldn't take long for Ganondorf to set his sights on a new horizon, one that would allow him all the power he needed to take care of his tribe and quench his lust for more power. My country lay within a vast desert. When the sun rose into the sky, a burning wind punished my lands, searing the world, and when the moon climbed into the dark of night, a frigid gale pierced our homes. No matter when it came, the wind carried the same thing, death. But the winds that blew across the green fields of Hyrule brought something other than suffering and ruin. I coveted that wind, I suppose. Gerudo Desert is the outcast within the land of Hyrule. From Hyrule Castle to Lake Hylia, and deep within Death Mountain, the towns and settlements lived the lifestyle Ganondorf could only dream of. Ganondorf's plan was to take Hyrule for himself. With the world at his grasp, he could shroud his tribe in riches and punish those who let the tribe fester in such a harsh environment. Ganondorf's first steps into taking control of Hyrule would be to secure a place within the ranks of the royal family of Hyrule. Ganondorf swore allegiance to the king of Hyrule, a disguise Princess Zelda would see right through, but her father wouldn't listen. As Ganondorf would slowly rise in power, a courageous boy would rise in the deepest parts of the forest, a place Ganondorf had already been in search of one of 3 sacred stones that would grant him access to a powerful relic. His presence wouldn't go unnoticed though, as he left a curse on the guardian of the forest, the Great Deku Tree. Ganondorf would also search 2 other locations, Death Mountain, home to the Rocky Gorons, and Zora's Domain, home to the fish-swimming race, the Zoras. These 2 other places that secured the stones he sought would also suffer for not handing them over. But Ganondorf is smart and cunning, and he knew that the boy in the forest would meet with Princess Zelda and attempt to gather the 3 stones he required. Ganondorf would wait patiently for the perfect time to strike. As our hero gathered the 3 spiritual stones required to open the door of time within the Temple of Time, he would wait for Link to use the Ocarina and give him a clean way through to the Sacred Realm, a home to the powerful Triforce that the evil King Demise had once tried to obtain. When Ganondorf retrieved the Triforce, it split into 3 parts. Power went to him, wisdom to Zelda, and courage to Link. But although he is left with only the Triforce of Power, he uses it to great effect in his conquest of Hyrule, usurping the throne and completely transforming the world as he sees fit. Ganondorf revived an evil dragon named Volvagia and planned to commit genocide against the Gorons by feeding them to it, and also intended to use Volvagia to spark an eruption of Death Mountain to wipe out Kakariko Village, and may have also broken the seal on Bongo Bongo. Ganondorf also trapped the Zoras under a thick sheet of ice in Zora's Domain, and presumably froze King Zora in red ice, as well as drained Lake Hylia with a water demon named Morpha, and he even spread his evil influence to the Forest Temple. The world that was once full of life and peace was now a world of chaos, danger and fear. The world now looked as if a beast had created it, and that's because it had. When Ganondorf entered the Sacred Realm and stole the Triforce, the Sacred Realm turned into the Dark World, and he was transformed into a boar-like demon, Ganon. Ganondorf's original motives of taking Hyrule to help his people were being twisted by the curse Demise had left upon the world. Part of Ganondorf wanted to rule, while the other part wanted to destroy the world he ruled. But even with the Triforce of Power and constant conflict inside his head, he still lusted for more power. Ganondorf needed the last 2 pieces of the Triforce to fulfill his greedy nature. He would eventually capture Princess Zelda, who had the piece of wisdom, only to see the piece of courage walk through his very castle. Ganondorf thought Link foolish for bringing it straight to him, considering he was such a powerful being, but Ganondorf underestimated Link. Link had the Triforce of Courage and help from Zelda and the sages. Together they put an end to the chaos of Ganondorf. Even in a last-ditch attempt from Ganondorf, where he put all his powers into becoming the beast form Ganon. But Link was still able to overcome the evil king, and eventually Ganondorf was sealed away. Furious of his defeat, Ganondorf declares that he would return as long as the Triforce of Power was in his hand, and vows to exterminate Link, Zelda, and the 7 sages' descendants when he does return. Thus, the cycle continues. Ganondorf did indeed return, bringing a mass flood to Hyrule and even shrouding the world in Twilight, as well as many other evil acts. Ganondorf is just as much a victim as Link and Zelda in this never-ending fate of conflict and power. Ganondorf's story really is quite tragic. He was once just a man that wanted to help his people, but on his conquest to do that, he not only became the villain of Hyrule, but he also made things worse for everyone, including the Gerudo. Now he's so consumed by his own power and Demise's curse that he is now no longer the same man, and has no hope of letting go of his quest for domination. A massive thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed, then leave a like and subscribe for more Zelda content. A huge amount of love goes to my Patreons, so thank you for continuing to support me. Links to my Patreon, Discord and Twitter will be in the description box below. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.